Hello everyone, I hope you're enjoying your Saturday evening. This is day 5 of, well, first of all, my challenge of going live every day for 21 days. But also I gave this challenge a title which is called From Logic to Living, 21 Days to Return to Yourself. And I had kind of a plan mapped out what I want to talk about. But today I'm actually deviating from this plan because I was attending the Happy, Holy, Confident event today by Laura Marlina Seiler. Maybe you know her podcast called Happy, Holy, Confident. And I was there the whole day. So it started at 1. It was in Munich. I'm right here in Munich. Took an early train at 5:30, 6:30. And was at the event the whole day, but of course don't want to miss the challenge. And there is actually something I want to share, something I want to talk about, because it was a really magical day. The community, the energy, the vibe was amazing. So much love and connection in the room. So many women and also a couple of men getting together. And I want to share a bit what happened. So Laura's intent for the day was to reconnect to God. And she really used that word. And I think many of us, we have struggled using and relating to this word. And this was very much the case for me too. Like, even though I was baptized and I had a confirmation and I kind of had, I was taught religion in school. I didn't really grow up religious. I didn't have any kind of faith. I didn't have any kind of belief in God. I couldn't really fathom what God is about. I did not buy into this concept of, someone punishing you and, at the end of your life. And this all just didn't make sense to me. And what I connected with God was more like an institution and something that I definitely couldn't feel. But things have changed, and I mean, that's also why this fits perfectly into From Logic to Living. As I discovered yoga and did yoga teacher trainings and started to meditate more, and I could feel this higher power, and I began developing a relationship to this higher power. And I could feel that there is something bigger than us and that we are somehow all connected. And I began to develop this spirituality. But still, until a couple of months ago, I would call it, spirit, the universe, Mother Nature, even, just when talking to myself or, in my head. And I wouldn't really use the word God. And also, I wouldn't really pray in that sense. But actually through, following Laura Marlina Seiler a bit more, but also other mentors that I'm working with who also use this word God. And they taught me a very different concept, or they helped me relate to a very different concept of what God is. I've been starting to use that word in my head and also sometimes in my prayers. But I definitely wouldn't really talk about it openly with anyone unless, people who are in that same space where everyone's using the word. And definitely I have some fear or concern using the word God online because I know how polarizing it can be, and I can totally understand if people misunderstand what I'm saying. But today I was really impressed by how she embodied this different well, I wouldn't say version, but this different way of relating to the word God, and this different way of expressing with the word God, that I really got so inspired and felt like, okay, this is actually something I want to step into as well. And I want to be talking openly about the divine, spirit, Mother Nature, but also God. And this connection to God or spirit or higher power has shifted so much in my life. Like, I definitely would not be here going after, you know, my dream life and building a business I'm really passionate about if I hadn't developed this relationship to God or higher power. Because all this is about getting out of fear, getting out of self-doubt, and stepping into something bigger, which is love, compassion, joy, connection. And really, the way I cultivate my self-trust and I get out of fear is exactly through this connection to through this connection to God, to a higher power, and coming back to this truth that ultimately we are the creators of our own reality. And I mean, this was very hard when I heard it for the very first time, because I felt so victimized by life. Life happened to me, it didn't happen for me. I felt like I was out of control of anything. It totally didn't feel like I was creating my own life. And it's, I mean, I'm not saying I feel like a creator all of the time, but I can feel that there is this potential, this possibility to step into the creator role. And the better I get at this, the better my life becomes. And the more I develop this trust into God, universe, Mother Nature, the more I feel guided, the more I feel this life force energy, this energy flowing through me and connecting me to something bigger, the more I can let go, release control, and trust that everything turns out fine. And also, the more I can take aligned action, because I can take risks. I can, you know, speak openly about God online and be fine that some people won't like it and won't agree with it, which is totally fine, right? And there is others who are grateful for this perspective, as I was very grateful for, you know, the women that, like Laura, but also other women that I heard talk about God, and that opened that door for me and that connection to this higher power and the divine. So even if you feel triggered right now by the word, by the concept, by what you associate maybe with it, maybe you still have, you know, very traditional religious concepts associated to God, I would just want to invite you to stay open and explore if maybe in the future there is something in you that can open up to that word again, or for the first time. And not just the word, but of course this higher power. And I think we are now, we are shifting ages from the Piscean age to the Aquarian age. In astrology, everyone is talking about planets shifting into new constellations that we haven't seen before. And it's all about higher frequencies coming onto this planet and human consciousness evolving and elevating. And I think this is also what we see, right? More and more people becoming open to this more spiritual, devotional way of living, being, and talking about God. And I think this is really beautiful. All right, I'm feeling tired. So I'll keep this short tonight. I would love to hear your thoughts on God, on your relationship to God. What is your relationship with the divine, Mother Nature, Spirit, however you want to call it? And I would like to know if you feel ready to use the word God, but what does it do to you? Looking forward to hearing your comments. Have a nice evening.